story The Atlantic wrote, is Ben Wikler the most important Democrat in America? Former President Obama speechwriter John Favreau saying, if we could have 50 Ben Wiklers in all 50 states, the Democratic Party would be in better shape. Thank you for joining us tonight here on the Hill. Appreciate it.
Great to be with you. I will say that every Democrat in Wisconsin is the most important Democrat in America because we could tip the whole country. And you might say the same in Pennsylvania and Michigan at this moment.
There you go. Let me start in your state, though, of Wisconsin. DDHQ polling has it as or average has it as a 52% chance that Trump wins, 48% Harris. The polling average, 0.2%. But let's look historically here. Democrats have won 8 out of the last 9 presidential elections in your state. As you know, President Bush was able to make it competitive. Donald Trump was able to take it over the hump for Republicans. As you see it, why is Donald Trump playing in your state?
Well, this is the 50-50 state. In Wisconsin, 4 of the last 6 presidential races has come down to less than 1 percentage point. It was the nation's closest state in 2004, second closest after Florida in 2000, less than 10,000 votes in the margin of victory. In 2016, Trump won by 0.7 of a point. 2020, Biden won by 0.6 of a point. So it is normal for us to have an election that comes down to 2 or 3 votes per precinct across the state. That's what the polls say it is right now. And there's just a lot of Republicans.
You think it's 2 or 3 votes per precinct?
I think that is most likely where it is, and that's what every model and every poll is telling us.
Let me ask you about the vice president's strategy. She was in your state the other day, as you know, did an event with Liz Cheney. Politico's main reporter reported on that, and here's what Jonathan Martin wrote. He said, quote, Harris said nothing specific about how she'd govern, mentioned no looming issue on which she'd work with Republicans, and offered no reassurances about leading the country from the political center. As he wrote, it was all about yesterday and Trump, not tomorrow and her. A recent poll, Ben, shows that 57% believe that she has not done enough explaining what her policies will be. Is this a mistake in strategy for the vice president?
Well, she's making a lot of visits in Wisconsin, and over she lays out her plans to bring down costs by negotiating drug costs, by building more homes to make houses more affordable and helping folks with first-time home expenses, with making sure that Medicare covers the cost of folks who are getting care at home, with a child tax credit to help parents be able to afford those expensive early years for a family, and signing Roe versus Wade into law. All those things are crystal clear, and she has been saying them in Wisconsin over and over. There's also a message
how do you square
to people
that
who might disagree with all those things, which is that we should be a constitutional democracy, not a dictatorship, not a place where the Constitution is terminated. And an event with Liz Cheney, you don't argue with her about the marginal tax rate on billionaires. Trump wants it lower. Harris thinks they should pay their fair share. You don't argue for a middle-class tax cut instead of a Trump sales tax with the tariffs. What you do is you say, look, we disagree about a lot of things, but we both agree on the Constitution, what our flag stands for, what men and women have fought for and died for in uniform around the world. And that is the idea of America. And that is what Trump threatens at this moment. So I think both of those.
So how do you square that polling, though, Ben?
And I think she's doing both.
How do you square that polling, Ben?
I think a lot of that polling comes from folks who listen to right-wing talk radio, watch Fox News, and never hear about Kamala Harris's actual policies. When you go through those policies with people, then it moves them. There's been a lot of research to make sure that this is the case. That when people hear what she actually plans to do, they become more likely to support her. Now, I also can't say that a lot of people know what Trump plans to do, even though, to me, I've print out a Project 2025 right next to me, and I've watched his speeches. I know his big plan. He's keeps telling billionaires he'll give them giant tax cuts. I know what he plans to do, but a lot of voters don't know what either candidate plans to do. That's why campaigns are so important in the final weeks, especially because folks who've been avoiding politics tune in now. And the more you tune in, the more likely you are to support Harris in the final stretch.
Let me leave you with this. You said recently that you lose sleep at night because you worry that the polls aren't capturing potential Trump voters, that the models aren't potentially capturing Trump voters. If that's the case, is it advantage Donald Trump?
I wouldn't trade places with the Trump campaign.
Okay.
Trump has had more voters than he's had in his polls in both 2016 and 2020. So I'd be remiss if I weren't concerned about that possibility. That's why on our side, we're trying to overshoot the mark as well. We're talking to a wider array of voters than we've spoken to at this phase in the campaign in a very long time. And that's because there are Republicans who know in their heart that Trump is a threat to the very idea of this country. Even if they disagree with Democrats about so many other things, they know that he tried to overturn an election in 2020, and his own closest staff are saying that he would like to be a dictator. So a lot of those.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.